So guys, in this video, we're going to talk about the truth about celibate women. Because without a shadow of a doubt, you are going to hear a woman say this: I'm celibate, I'm not engaged in any sexual acts, however, we can still go out on dates, I can still take your time, attention, resources, etc., etc. It's inevitable, especially if you're dealing with a particular age range of women. So within this video, I want to discuss why women say that and the truth behind it in terms of their behavior and how you can actually overcome it. First off, it always stems from a reason. I've never met a celibate woman who was also a virgin. Makes sense, right? I don't think I've even ever met a virgin now that I think about it. But most celibate women have actually engaged in past sexual encounters more times than they can count. In fact, that's the reason why they decide to go celibate, is because of frustration due to those many sexual encounters, which brought them towards some sort of spiritual enlightenment, sort of healing journey, because they realized that they weren't getting what they actually wanted. But the point is, you gotta remember this whenever a woman says she's celibate. That's the fact that she's celibate as of right now. She wasn't in the past, and more than likely she won't be in the future. And sometimes even she's celibate for you, which actually hurts a lot. If a woman decide to sleep with many other men before you, especially fast, but she's making you now wait, that's like the worst feeling ever. So whenever she switches up her dating strategy, who is she now trying to attract? She's trying to attract the nice guy, the guy who she actually avoided all those prior years and or never gave a chance because she wasn't attracted to him. She wasn't attracted to how he talked. She wasn't attracted to the things he did, his lack of sexual aggression. Everything about him was repulsive. So if I withhold my intimacy, then that in itself should attract a guy who doesn't want me only for my intimacy, which then in return can be a guy I can build a relationship with. But the issue with that is that they're now attracting and potentially getting into a relationship with a guy that they don't actually have the genuine desire for. And this is where you see women who cheat, women who have wandering eyes, women who always in some sort of way tend to go back to their prior conditioning and programming. That's why if you are that nice guy and a woman is telling you that she is celibate, be wary. Be wary, because more times than not, you might be that nice guy who she's trying to seek out. The bad boy, the guy who was that prior guy in her other situationships and prior encounters, he's not gonna wait. He's not gonna be like, okay, you're celibate now? Cool. You know, let's go out on 5, 6, 7 dates. Nah, it's not happening. Now, another part of the strategy is from the fact that she's thinking the more she gets you invested, the more likely you are to stay. And this goes basically to the idea of women not understanding men. And men are fairly simple to understand. Of course, we do want sex, but if that is the only thing that we want, it doesn't matter if we wait 3 dates for it, 5 dates for it, 6 dates for it. When we do get it, the same action is still gonna happen. And I feel like this is something that a lot of women within that sort of scenario have to understand just through trial and error. But despite all that, here's what you have to understand about celibate women, is that they will still break the rules for the right kind of guy. They will. You see, when it comes to sexual encounters and being hot and heavy in the moment, her logical brain is saying, I'm celibate, I don't do this, where her emotional brain, that's hot and heavy, that's turned on, simply overrides the logic and she gives in. But who is the type of guy that makes her give in? The type of guy that hears the idea that, oh, I'm celibate, that's cool, but still tries anyway. That's the secret, guys. If a woman tells you that she's celibate, take it one ear out the other and still go about whatever game plan you have. Still physically escalate, still flirt with her, still try to sleep with her. Because that in itself can almost be a filter. If she's telling you, hey, I'm celibate, and you start acting differently or start pulling back, you now have failed the test. Her telling you that she is celibate is the test. And the guys who still get what they want and can still override her emotions with her logical brain are the guys who still try. Now, sometimes you will come across a woman who's very, very stern on it. I'm not saying like every woman's gonna override her emotions over her logic in this case. And some women will be fairly stern on their stance of celibacy. But in that case, I still believe that you should hold boundaries and ground to whatever you personally want. So if you usually follow a 3-4 date rule, whereas within 4 or 3 dates, you don't get any intimacy and you're out, keep that up with her also. but also within that dates 1 through 4, 1 through 3, you have to be trying. So once again, just because she says she's celibate doesn't mean that you shouldn't try. And if you get to date 4, date 3, and nothing is progressing, so when I say progressing, date 1, you hugged her, date 2, you kissed her, date 3, she went to your place and you made out with her, date 4, you know, something else happened that I probably can't say on YouTube. You know, if it's not progressing elsewhere, then that's when you have to cut your losses. You have to. Because otherwise, going back to her strategy, you're gonna get to date 7, date 8, and start to question yourself like, when is this happening? But she's already told you from the start, brother, that it's not happening. You know, we're friends. This is a platonic friendship. So personally, I never take what a celibate woman says at face value, because truth is, not only is it a red flag, but also it could just be a lie. They could be sleeping with one guy and not with anybody else, and telling you that so that she shows you purity, but also you should still try. Now, if you're tired of being that nice guy, you are the guy who wants to spark that genuine desire. You are that guy who wants to spark raw physical attraction. That way her emotions can override her logic. Fill out an application to join my digital Romeo blueprint, where I'll personally help you one-on-one so that we can totally transform your dating app profiles alongside with your Instagram profiles. Different there, working your game on the back end. I'll leave a link down below. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.